play. And this is, like I said, what it was originally designed for, but they're using it at Michigan, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Missouri. Green Bay Packers were using it in OTAs with outside backers and D-line play. It's a spectacular tool. And what separates this from what you have now? And how I would like to think about it is, what are you using year-round that's effective, translating back to live play? Number two is, what do you have that's realistic in terms of a body frame with arms on it? And you never face anybody without arms at any position. Everybody's got arms out there. So practice that way. The other thing is movement. How often do you face a man who's standing still? The answer is never. And that's one of the things, you know, I still use sleds. I love sleds. But there's a point where you got to realize nobody's going to stand there and be in the same spot and let you jack them. So that initial movement off the line is critical. And that movement in space for backers, for offensive linemen, to be able to attack something in space that's moving, absolutely critical. So, movement and having arms, very, very important. So defensive line play, why is it a great tool? We've got a great testimonial from the D-line coach at Michigan State, Ron Burton. He loves it for pad level and hand placement and hand fight. So he can control pad level. Guys will automatically play to the level you have these arms at. Automatically. And hand placement. If you want their hand placement inside, controlling that breastplate, steering a guy, perfect tool. And I can come off the ball and be here as an offensive lineman attacking you. I can be going away from you. I can work two guys, and the defensive lineman's got to read it and play it appropriately. If he works against the double, he's got to beat this guy and get skinny against the next. So you can simulate that feeling, but he's always got his visual key then. The same visual key that he's going to use come game time. So he's got it in front of him. And when that via the neck comes at him, or whatever you have him read, he knows he's taking it on. He gets hands inside. He gets separation. And what does he have to do? He's got to release. When you talk about defensive football, what does everybody have to do? Everybody's got to know alignment, assignment, but then block shedding. Every single position, block shedding, which involves spatial integrity. So where's the guy at when I'm taking him on? What leverage do I have? How do I keep separation, and how do I release? Most importantly, how do I release? Because I got to get to the ball. And that's every single defensive position. So with defensive linemen, you're always working hand placement. You're always working on releases. Because you're clubbing, you're ripping, you're hand fighting. You're doing everything you can. Counter moves, coming back, spins. I can simulate an offensive tackle's kick step here. So we snap the ball, I'm kick stepping. Where is my defensive lineman now going to be putting his moves on? He's going to be putting his moves on exactly where he's going to put them on during the game. All right? I'm not a stagnant dummy that doesn't move and he's got to attack me and put a move on and go on with his life. I can fight him now as a coach. I can keep fighting him. So if he doesn't get these hands off him, or he doesn't stab and rip under, I'll be on. And then we know as a coach, we can easily see where his hand placement is. We can easily see if he's ripping under the arms, if he's clubbing across, if he's getting too high on his pass rush and he's clubbing a shoulder and that doesn't move anybody. So it's a very, very good tool to use for defensive linemen. Any place that you use a shield right now on the field, you're going to be more effective using this. Defensive line, if you run any hoop drills at all, having a couple of these on there. So they got to rip under it on the sides when they're coming around, and then they got to finish over the top. So I always want them finishing, coming up strong, finishing, ripping that back arm off, just like it were a quarterback. Again, I'm improving the drills that I already use by adding one piece of equipment. Linebacker.